1.7 million of you saw my video on how I got to be an extra on Euphoria, and since then I've been getting a ton of DMs and comments asking about how I was able to get the opportunity, and I can't get to them all unfortunately, so I'm going to try to answer everything while I do my makeup. So the number one question that I've been getting asked the most by far is how I even got this opportunity in the first place, and it was actually pretty simple. Euphoria was actually my first ever acting job, which was very lucky, by the way, because I got to be surrounded by a ton of people my own age, which has not been my experience after that. So if you ever get that opportunity, don't take it for granted. So basically how I did it is I started following a ton of different casting agencies on Instagram, and a lot of them can seem like fake sometimes, so I would go ahead and like check who's following them, if you have mutuals, who they're following, if their posts have likes, comments, how many likes, comments do they have, etc. If they post on their stories, what do they post, you know, just be thorough when you're checking out these profiles. When you're looking at their pages, you'll probably see listings like this. This is what I ended up applying for. So Euphoria was under a code name. It was under LA Nights, which if you guys have been watching the show right now, they have like a set in the show and it's called LA Nights, so that was like their code name. At the time I didn't have any professional like headshots or anything, so what they were looking for was for like an influencer party, so I low-key just submitted pictures from my Instagram that kind of matched that same vibe, and I think that's what helped me get the role, because when I was on set I was hearing that Sam Levinston actually handpicked all of us to be on set because he wanted a very specific vibe for the party. Now that might be true or not true, but either way we got picked, so that's really cool. Now one thing that is super like important to note, I'm gonna look over here, that about these like especially when you're working like as a background actor, sometimes the way that they handle things is kind of sketchy. Like sometimes it genuinely feels like you're getting set up for like human trafficking or something, because they'll text you like or email you like genuinely in the middle of the night and say, hey, are you available for this tomorrow, show up at this random location at this time. That's it, that's all we're gonna tell you. That is exactly what happened for Euphoria, kind of. Basically they just ended up sending us an email from casting like maybe 2 days before, with a mood board of what we were supposed to be wearing, which was obviously like old school kind of Euphoria kind of vibes, but they wanted like elevated LA influencer. And so I just ended up submitting some photos to the casting or to the costuming, and they approved my outfit, and that is how I ended up with this outfit on Euphoria. Now if you're wondering if we get to do hair and makeup like the actual cast members, we do, which is kind of rare for some other roles, but for this one it was really cool. We got to go into this really giant, it almost felt like backstage modeling for like Victoria's Secret or something. Like we got to go in this huge room with a bunch of really famous makeup artists, and they got to do touch-ups. I personally had already done like makeup. If you saw this clip, I don't really have pictures from it because they actually take your phones when you're on set, or at least they like lock them away in these bags sometimes, or they put like these like covers over the camera so you can't take any pictures to keep it like private. I've been getting a lot of questions also on what my set experience was like, and it was genuinely such an amazing first time acting because I don't really do much acting, but just being on set in general. It ended up being